Welcome to today's analysis, everyone. Today we're going to be covering a good fight between two of the best flyweights in Korea. Over in the blue, we have Yang Lee-chan from Kogas, so that's going to be the Korean Gas Corporation. And then in red, we have Lee Chan-young from Daejeon City Hall. And I picked this fight today because it shows why in the modern game, it helps you percentage-wise, right, to be aggressive. This fight goes back and forth, but I want you guys to be able to see the tide of the fight, kind of like the atmosphere of the fight change depending on which fighter is being more aggressive and using more pressure, all right? So let's get into it. Fighter in red over here is starting off quick and snappy. He's creating that pressure right away. 5 seconds haven't even passed yet, right? Using that front leg, that right leg, getting to the inside, knee shielding, right? So this is a little bit less common, right? A lot of fighters, they like to gauge a little bit. But over here, our fighter in red, he's getting straight to work. And this is, I feel like this is kind of catching our fighter in blue, Yang Lee-chan, right? He's catching him off guard. Yang Lee-chan, he tries a wide left crescent kick, unsuccessful. Nice knee shield into punch, might have been a little bit high. Just about 1:30 left. Okay, so this was a very good counter. Our fighter in red, he comes in, right? And our fighter in blue knows and realizes that he's coming in. He catches a nice tight upper double, close, squeezes that in tight. So as a counter, very good. Okay, our fighter in red, he scores a crescent kick to the back of the head, no hold. And again, he's coming in with that front leg, kind of squeezing it in. If you can notice, our fighter in red is a little bit less flexible than the fighter in blue, okay? So he has to be a little bit tighter, a little bit more explosive. Nice lefty. Let's watch that again, okay? So he starts off with his front leg to create pressure over here. But then on the inside, boom, as he's coming in, he throws the lefty with the cover, okay? It's very important, especially when you're throwing a back leg, that you don't just think about throwing it because your body's going in. So you have to know that most of the kicks that are coming back at you is going to be the front leg. So you keep that front hand or even the backhand as well to push away, defend, get that counter out the way so you could score and not get scored on. Boom, right here. Yang Lee-chan tries another wide crescent, blocked. Eats the Gam-Jeom for holding. Okay, red tries a tight twist kick on the inside. Unsuccessful. Another lefty on the way in and another tight double from both. Neither of them scored, but I feel like very good reaction from our fighter in blue. Okay, so this right here, right? Even though I was talking about earlier the aggression and being able to be more pressureful and that putting you in a better position, right? Our fighter in blue is reading that the other guy is pressuring him. And then even though he's down in the lead, right, and he may not be winning right now, he still has the IQ or the fight IQ to switch up the angle or switch up the level. So up until now, he's thrown that up-bar double twice to the body. 1, 2, boom, nice and tight. 1, 2, boom, nice and tight, right? On the third time that he throws it right here, our fighter in red is coming in. Instead of going to the body, he throws it up nice and tight to the face, and he's able to score that. So let's watch that again. 1, 2 to the face. Our fighter, he had his hands down because he thought it was coming to the body again. Eight, 6, 10, 6. He scores that lefty back. Yang Lee-chan, the fighter in blue, he scored, or he brought up a front leg axe kick to catch him on the way in, but he wasn't able to score it. Nice offbeat punch, scores it, okay? So this is going to more of offbeat timing. He realizes that it's kind of like a resting period. Maybe not resting, but a little bit like a little bit more nonchalant, chilling, right? And then boom, he comes off the line, right hand punch to catch our fighter in red. 10-7. Scores that front leg tight up our double to the face again. 10-10. Okay, over here our fighter in red, as he's pulling out, spins backwards and then scores that body shot. So there's a lot going on right now. He's going back and forth. You got a card over here. We're gonna skip forward to 20 seconds. So Yang Chan is having a lot of success with that front leg tight double. 1-2 scores it. 14-13. Our fighter in red, I feel like, was scoring a lot better earlier when he was creating that pressure, but right now he kind of let off the gas, and then Yang Chan is able to take advantage of that. Okay, working that body. Just about 11 seconds left. Okay, so he goes back to that pressure game, right? Like I said earlier, he's not as flexible, but he's throwing a multitude of these fast, tight cuts, up bars, followed with the back leg, and that's what really bringing him success in this first round. So let's watch that again. Lefty. Yang Chan gets kicked out, 18-14 right now. Cut scores, and that's going to finish out the first round. All right, so even in that first round, I feel like you'll be able to see our fighter in red, when he's being more aggressive and he's coming forward, right? He's able to score his points in a flurry. But when he starts laying off the gas, right? That's when our fighter in blue, Yang Chan, is able to be a little bit more crafty and he's able to take advantage of it. Of course, our fighter in blue, right, having a really good eye, he's able to catch stuff on the way in. But since he fought like that most of the round, I feel like that's the reason why he lost this first round, all right? So let's jump into round 2. Lefty, tight lefty with the hips out, very nice. Okay, so Yang Chan, our fighter in red, or our fighter in blue, is trying to work a little bit more to get to the inside this round. A little bit more clashing, a little bit less pulling back. Okay, tries to score a front leg axe, unsuccessful. Nice front leg knee shield into the punch, gets his knee over their leg, which is very important in the modern day game. Tries that tight up by double. And they give it to him, so it's 3-2 right now. Okay, so I feel like this round is a little bit more competitive. Both fighters are meeting in the middle of the ring. They're both trying to pressure each other. That's why it's a little bit closer. A little bit of faking. Nice try with that question mark kick because he's been kicking the body, right? He switches it up, changes the angle, but he gets blocked. Fighter in red, good idea. And like I said in the previous video, it doesn't matter that you don't score on your way in or you don't score while you're pressuring another opponent, right? Whether they're more flexible or they're taller, right? It just matters that you're throwing these shots with pressure consistently, because you're going to run into something, you're going to hit something hard and not score it, but it matters that you're taking these shots, right? You are not going to score any points that you don't throw or you don't kick. So you want to give yourself as many opportunities as possible to be able to throw these shots. So then when, you know, maybe you make a flush kick and it scores, or maybe you hit a dinky kick and it scores, but you're still getting your foot out there, so that way you're giving you a chance, right? Yang Chan notices that our fighter in red is trying to rush, come in, scores a nice tight twist, 5-2. And then Lee Chan-young, boom, comes back with his answer. Both fighters are trying to meet in the middle of the ring this round, right? So Yang Chan, his response is to hit a tight upright double on the way in. Then Lee Chan-young's response is to hit a nice tight lefty back kick on the when Yang Chan is on his way in, okay? So this is why it's so important to be able to squeeze these tight shots in, especially when you realize that this fighter is trying to meet you in the middle with that pressure. Let's watch that again. Tight twist on the way to the clinch. Then, right away, tight back kick on the way to the clinch, okay? So this is a really good exchange. We're gonna end up at 6-5 after this. Just about 30 seconds left. Okay, nice kick into punch. Even though it didn't score, no problem. That's still keeping up the pressure. Red is up 1 round, so our fighter in blue, he needs to be able to take this round to push it to round 3. Scores that tight twist again. So it's 7-6 now, he's up. Changes the angle. Let's watch that again. Kind of floats it. So if you're a little bit more flexible as a fighter, right, you want to be able to float it and keep it in the air and change the angle. So right here, back to back, our fighter in blue, he scored 2 tight twists with that knee up. Right, so he went 1 and then 2. On this third time, he's going to switch it up, bring that same chamber, but instead of twisting it to the body, he's floating it up to the face, changing the angle, and that's why he's able to score this kick right here. 9-8 right now, 11 seconds left. Red has the right idea. He's throwing volume, going under. Now, it's good to throw volume and go under when you are put into a position that you're not able to have someone walk into you. Like you're losing, right? He's down by 1, there's 10 seconds left. There's not much he could do. He knows that the fighter in blue is going to raise his leg, so he has to go under, right? But you do have to remember to still mix in fakes, still mix in a knee shield, right? Because you don't want to go under 3, 4, 5 times, because then our other fighter is going to eventually realize that, and then maybe if they cut a little bit lower, right, to the bottom part of the chest gear, they'll be able to mess up your balance, and then you eat that Gam-Jeom. So you started off with being down 1, but if you get scored on and fall, now you're down by 4, okay? So you gotta be careful with that. So the idea of pressure is good, but still you wanna be able to switch up, not be too repetitive with just 1 kick. So that's 1 under, 2 under, right? Still keeping the pressure very good, but on this third under, our fighter in blue, he's able to read it, pushes a little bit deeper, a little bit lower, eats the Gam-Jeom. So now it's 10-8, 3 seconds left. Yang Chan scores a back leg on the way to the inside and then pulls out. 12-9. And then that finishes out round 2, okay? So it's 1-1 right now. I feel like the first round, Yang Chan, our fighter in blue, was getting a little bit more pressured by Lee Chan-young, our fighter in red. So that's why it went that way. Our second round, right? It was a little bit closer, or the first round was close as well, but I feel like just the atmosphere of the second round, it was a little bit more tight, right? And then our fighter in blue was being a little bit more, I don't want to say dominant, but he was showing a little bit more pressure, which is why I feel like he was able to pull that round out. Now, this is where it gets interesting because this whole fight has been very competitive, right? And it's been, 2-3, 4-5, 6-7, 10-12, right? We're going to watch this third round and see how it unfolds. Fighter in blue starts off with a punch. Scores it. So it's 1-0. Tries a floating lefty up to the body and then changes that angle to the up to the head and then changes that angle to the body. Scores a tight cut to the outside, so it's 3-0 right now. And then as soon as they start again, right, he's meeting our fighter in the red in the middle, right, and he knows that he keeps wanting to clash. So he knows that he's throwing that tight twist again, right, with no hesitation. We're approaching the minute and 30-second mark. And he throws, I want you guys to see this, right? Earlier we talked about throwing that twist nice and tight because he knows he's going to walk into it. Same thing with that up bar double. He knows he's going to walk into it. So as he's coming into it, he turns his body, turns his hips over, and he's trying to squeeze that kick in. So very good idea. Even though these kicks aren't scoring, it's still messing with our fighters in red's confidence. 1-2. Okay, front leg up bar scores. Fighter in red falls while he's trying to kick. Now it's 6-0, okay? Again, throws that tight. Switches the angle, goes up to the head. And let's bring that back, okay? That didn't score, right? But this is putting our fighter in blue in a very good position right now. Because earlier at the first round, right, when he was pulling back, it was kind of like, oh, he's getting caught, he's getting caught, he's getting caught, right? And then, right, he still has a good eye. He throws like a upper double or upper double to the face, right? And he's able to kind of pull back some of that lead, but he's not able, he's almost like he's fighting like an uphill battle. In this third round, he keeps the pressure. As soon as it says start, he knows he's going to be met with pressure, throws something tight, throws something tight, throws something tight, starting off first, right? And that's what's giving him the opportunity to kind of take this dominance over our fighter in red. So let's watch this again. Starts off with a cut, changes the angle, comes with the back leg, wide crescent to the body. Our fighter in red gets kicked out. Now it's 7-0, okay? So he's in a much more comfortable position than the first or second round. Starts off with a cut, again, cut, punch because he knows he's coming in. So he's keeping the pressure, but he's always having something ready to kick tight. So then that way, if our fighter in red does come in, he's catching him tight. Right here, he shows some good pressure, right, with that front leg. So he's going back to back to back cuts. 1, 2, 3. And this is really messing up our fighter in red's whole style because he was able to see success with our fighter in blue pulling back. But now that he's meeting him in the middle with that pressure or pushing him back as well, right, our fighter in red is having a much harder time. Okay, so now it's 11-0. 55 seconds left. Again, our fighter in red gets pushed out. That's his 5th Gam-Jeom. That's going to end the round. We're going to watch that sequence one more time. So he eats a Gam-Jeom over here, getting pushed back by Yang Yi-chan, right? Yang Yi-chan keeps up that pressure, cuts to the body, throws a back leg, takes the wrist, doesn't get scored on, and then our fighter in red, he eats his 4th Gam-Jeom, okay? So right now, it's 11-0 with 4 Gam-Jeoms. Yang Yi-chan is in a really good place right now, okay? And he knows that. So what is he going to do? Stick to the same exact game plan. Hits the body, switches the level up to the face, comes back to the body, right? That's more of the angles that we're talking about. But the most important thing is he's keeping that aggression on his opponent, okay? So right here, twice to the head, comes back to the body once, twice, and then that's enough to push him out. And that's what secures the W for our fighter in blue over here, okay? So in the first round, our fighter in blue was being a little bit less aggressive, trying to catch our fighter in red on the way in. He was having some success, but just with the modern day rule set and the way that the rules are set up, it's always going to put you in a better position if you are the one being aggressive. You're the one creating the pressure. Unless you're super long and tall and you can afford to let someone run into you and you catch them on the way in, right? Your best bet is going to be being the first one to kick, being the first one to create pressure, being the first one to be more aggressive, right? So after the first round, then our fighter in blue was like, all right, let me try and meet him in the middle a little bit more. Let me bring him with my own pressure. He's able to be a lot tighter and a lot closer and a lot more competitive with our fighter in red in the second round. And then the third round is where his fight IQ kind of shine. He's able to make that adjustment, being more aggressive, and then gap him without getting scored on in this third one. Okay, so I hope you guys were able to learn from this fight about the ins and outs of the modern day game, and that the fact that no matter how skilled you are, right, no matter how good of an eye you are, even like Blue is, right, if you put yourself in a disadvantaged position, right, a disadvantageous position, such as pulling back, letting the other person pressure you, it's going to be very hard to be dominant in today's game. So you want to keep that pressure. You want to be aggressive. All right, you guys. So as always, shoot me a message on Taekwondo Fury Institution. Feel free to hit me up on Instagram, Facebook, whatever it may be. And then I will continue breaking down these videos for you guys, breaking down these fights so we could all come together and then grow together as a family. Thank you, guys.